Yes, you are. Come on in. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. You are welcome in this place. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Yes, you are. Consuming fire. Sweet perfume. Awesome presence. Come fill this room. Consuming fire. Sweet perfume. Awesome presence. Come fill this room. Oh, Holy Spirit, we need your presence. Come on in here, God. Oh, Holy Spirit. Yes, God. Oh, yes. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. You're welcome in this place. Move amongst us, God. We need you. Yes, God. Consuming fire. Oh, sweet perfume. Your awesome presence. Come fill this room. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sweet perfume. Your awesome presence. Come fill this room. Yeah. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Come on in, Jesus. We need you, Lord. Yes, we do. Holy Spirit, come on in, Jesus. Welcome in this place. Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome in. Yeah. Come on, put your hands together. Come on, invite the Holy Ghost wherever you are sitting at, wherever you are driving at right now. He's gonna come in if you invite him in. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, say welcome. Oh, welcome. We need you, Lord. You are welcome. Come on in, Jesus. We need your rain. We need your rain. Send your loud rain, Jesus. We need your rain, God. Come on in, Jesus. You are invited in, Jesus. You are welcome. We need you. Send your glory, God. We need you, Lord. Oh, God. We need you, Jesus. Come on in, God. You are welcome. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yes. This place. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thank you for joining Victory News Network. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we go live with a new sermon. Pastor Petteway pop-up prayer every day during the month of September through Facebook Live and YouTube. You can give via text by texting GIVE to 832-400-9544. Download our new app. All you have to do is go to your app store, type in Church by Ministry 1, type in Victory Community Church, and create an account and enjoy. Please join us for Tune Up Tuesday Bible Study on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. through Facebook Live and YouTube. Join us online with Pastor Petteway at 10 p.m. every Sunday through Facebook Live and YouTube. Weekly prayer call every Wednesday at 7 p.m. through Zoom. Thank you for joining us for Victory News Network, VNN.
You know, sometimes you just got to be riding down the street and just start telling yourself, you know, say, I don't feel no way down from where I started. Nobody told me who believe me, but I don't believe you brought me this far. I don't believe. I don't believe he brought me this far. I don't believe he brought me this far. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. He ain't gonna leave. He ain't gonna leave. He ain't gonna leave. I got to get out of here. The most time. He ain't gonna leave. He ain't gonna leave. He never left me. All right, let's move on. What do I keep saying? I'm stuck. He ain't gonna leave. I know this country. What messes me up about people, they think just because they don't like you, that God's supposed to leave you. He ain't gonna leave. He won't do it. No. He ain't gonna leave. I know. He ain't gonna leave. That's real country. That's country, but it'll work in a day. He ain't gonna leave. Even when I'm wrong, he won't do it. Even when I mess up, he won't do it. Yeah, he won't do it. He won't do it. He won't do it. He won't do it. Yeah. All right, now that's it. Let's go up now. Let's be careful with this. Because somebody could get healed with stuff going on like that. See, cancer could dry up in rooms like this.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for joining with us. We are working out some technical things, trying to get it right, trying to get it the way that it should be. Let me know in the comments if you all can hear us clearly. If you hear me clearly, see me very clearly. I want to make sure that you hear and see me clearly before we get started. Just somebody say we hear you, somebody say we can't hear you, somebody say something to me in the comments section. Just let me know if you can hear or cannot hear me. While you're doing that, if you're not typing in the comments, get your Bible together. We're going to get ready to go into the next level of this word that we started on last week. All right, we hear you. We hear you. We hear you. Get your Bibles. We're going to go to 2 Kings 10. 2 Kings 10. 2 Kings 1. I'm sorry, 2 Kings 1. We're going to do verse 9 and 10. 2 Kings 1, verse 9 and 10. 2 Kings 1, 9 and 10. We started this last week. This message on what does it mean to win? What does it mean to win? So we're going to go into that tonight even further. We're going to talk about what does it mean to win. Last week we talked about that being a champion, being a victor, being a winner does not look like it looks in the kingdom. It does not look the same way as the world looks at it. The world looks at winning by any means necessary. But God, if it's not done the right way, if it's not done God's way, then it is not a win. God doesn't play dirty. God does not have to cut a hit below the belt to get his victory. God is an awesome God. God is ever present. God is always there. God is so awesome that y'all, he don't have to chase you. He don't have to lie to you. He don't have to manipulate you. He can just be God all by himself. So what we talked about last week was that God, he gives wins. He gives the win. He gives the win. He gives that win. That's what we get. Our answer to everything, the victory, everything in every area of my life. Man, let me tell y'all, if you can catch just that one simple point, that God, I want you to give me victory in everything I do, everything I say, everything I feel. God, I just want victory in every area of my life. And we talked about last week about how it's just so amazing that God can even get victory over death and the grave. He's that kind of God. So we started off with that last week. Tonight we're going from 2 Kings 1, verses 9 and 10. Y'all, this all by itself just blesses me. 2 Kings 1, verse 9 and 10. Let me give you 9 because I got 10 on my screen, but I want you to get 9 to get context. 2 Kings 9. 2 Kings 9. 2 Kings 1. It'd be good if I had it. 2 Kings 1, verse 9 and 10. 2 Kings 1, 9 and 10. Then he sent to Elijah a captain with his company of 50 men. The captain went up to Elijah, who was sitting on the top of a hill, and said to him, "Man of God, the king says, come down." Elijah answered the captain. This is where we pick up at talking about what does it mean to win. Elijah answered the captain, "If I am a man of God, may fire come down from heaven and consume you and your 50 men." Watch this. Then fire fell from heaven and consumed the captain and his men. We're talking about what does it mean to win. So tonight, what we're going to talk about is winning always displays God's power over anything. Winning. Last week we talked about winning always frees you. That's what we talked about last week, about how freeing it can be. Most of us struggle when things have you bound. We talked about last week, about how you cannot have a victorious life and a defeated mindset at the same time. It does not work that way. God desires for you to be free. But watch this, y'all. Not only does he desire for you to be free, but we learn in 2 Kings 1, 9 and 10, God has a desire for you to win. He has a desire for you to be over and above. He has a desire for you to, watch this, watch the enemy come against you and watch them also fail. Yeah. So let's walk through it. Let's walk through it. First of all, the book of Kings, First Kings, Second Kings, it's only split up because of the length of scrolls when they first started writing. The book was so long. Between the two books, there are around 20 kings that have been made in the north and the south. But one of the main kings that the prophet has an issue with is the king that has Ahab, that was in, he was, after Ahab this, Moab rebelled against Israel. Now Ahaziah, I'm in verse 1. Ahaziah had fallen through the lattice of his upper room in Samaria and injured himself. Watch this, y'all. The king is up there getting ready to fight, and he falls. No, nothing to do with him, in the right place at the right time. Stuff just happens, and as it happens, he falls down, and y'all, guess what happens to him? He hurts himself. I mean, everything normally happens just like that. You're going through stuff and you hurt yourself. Then they go through this thing, and what he does is he sends out them people, the people of Israel, to go get a fortune teller to tell him the future. That am I going to get well? And watch this, y'all. Why? When he sends them out, what comes in his room is the prophet of God. The prophet of God walks in the room, says, hey, you're going to stay there because you did not consult with God. You went and wanted other people to do it. And watch this. When he left, the prophet went and found the people that the king had sent out, sent them back and said, tell him he's not going to get off that bed. He's going to die right there where he is. And the people told him exactly what the prophet said. He told the prophet. They told him that the prophet had told them. So then he go out. I'm all the way between verses 1 and 10. He gets out, and guess what, y'all? The king gets mad. He gets mad, and that's where it picks up in verse 10. Verse 9 is where it picks up. Verse 9, he sends a captain and 50 men to go kill the prophet. The prophet is sitting high on a hill, and the captain comes up to him and says, hey, the king says that you need to come down. And if he'd come down, he'd have been dead. But watch this, y'all. This is where we get our point for tonight from. This is where we get our celebration from. This is where we're going to dig our heels in. That winning always displays God's power over anything. That's our point tonight. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. That winning always displays God's power over anything. God has a desire for you to win. Watch this. But if you are fighting another believer, if you are fighting another person that's on the same team as you, you can't expect God to pick a side. The kingdom does not fight the kingdom. There is no victorious belief system in kingdom fighting kingdom, y'all. Watch this. If you feel like you are in a situation, going through some stuff, dealing with some stuff, and you trying to figure out if God is in it, watch this. If you're sitting here thinking that God is going to have to answer your prayers about what you're dealing with, then you are in a wrong situation. If what you're dealing with is rebellion against the kingdom. If God is for you, then who can be against you? If you're struggling in your mind right now to figure out where God is, watch this. If God shows up, what will he display? What will he show his power for? The time has come that we have to get off the fence and pick a side. That winning will always display God's power. That, watch this, if you can do it, the Bible is full of scriptures that have shown that Jesus and God, anytime you feel like you can do it on your own, he'll let you fall. Most of us struggle because we don't desire to be the prophet that God has put in the land. Yeah, because we run from callings, we run from commitment, and we run from dedication. From loyalty. I say that one. Let me use loyalty. We run from calling. We run from calling. You run because you're scared of what the calling represents. Watch this. One reason that might be good, because it shows a sign of respect. But the problem with that is that if you're running out of fear, what are you more fearful of than God? What are you more fearful of that's going to come into your life and cause a problem for you that God cannot heal, is not more powerful than, is not greater than? What are you afraid of that you feel like God cannot fix? What are you up against that you feel, that's your call? Watch this. Then it's your commitment. We have an issue in life being committed to God. We don't take positions that cause us to be more committed. We don't lock ourselves in because stuff could go bad. We don't do certain stuff because we're afraid of how it's going to look to other people. Well, why are you trying to say this, preacher? Because what I'm trying to get you to see is the struggle that most of us face and fight. It has nothing to do with other people. It's the fight within us. That sometimes the struggle you have is the fact that you know that the king is over there doing something wrong, and you don't have the boldness to jump up and say to him, hey, that ain't right. Watch this. Let me tell you 3 things a prophet do. Y'all ready? 3 things a prophet do. First thing the prophet does is speak on behalf of God. Finds out what God wants and speaks what God wants. Some of us are struggling with being prophetic because we don't know how to speak on behalf of God, because we don't know what God wants. We spent more energy running from God than trying to learn from God. I know it's just Tuesday, Pastor. Why would you hit us with that? Because if you are going to understand what this prophet was doing, he was speaking on behalf of God. And you want change in your life, you got to quit coming in your own name and start speaking with some authority on behalf of God. I tell people all the time, if I got to beg you to stay, go. If I got to say what everything you want me to say, go. If I got to do everything you want me to do, go. Because that is not what I'm here for. What are you here for, preacher? I'm here to speak on behalf of God. Watch this, y'all. I'd rather God be happy with me and you be mad than you be happy and God send in judgment. That's the first thing prophet does, is speak on behalf of God. Second thing he does, he's a covenant watchdog. Watch this. What does that mean? He watches to make sure that the covenant of God is being kept. He keeps people in line. Yeah. He not only speaks on behalf of God, but if something ain't right, he's willing to speak that which ain't right. Come on, y'all. There are two that don't want to hear a word from the prophet. You only want to hear that in 3 days and 7 days and 13 days and 22 days and 3 hours, there's going to be money in your bank account. There's going to be money that's going to overflow. And I believe in financial prosperity. But I will say this, that you should not, and I'm going to speak it how I feel it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Come back on Sunday. I'll be a better person. But you cannot be a non-covenant keeper, which means you're not tithing, you're not attending, you're not dedicated to the ministry, and then expecting God to open the windows of heaven. Watch this. If he opens the window, where are you to receive them? Because you are a renegade. Because you're not a covenant keeper. Second thing that a prophet does. Third thing that a prophet does. He calls out idolatry and injustice. That's what he does. He calls it out. He tells them, I know that you have another God. Y'all, money ain't just the only other God out there. I read a book a couple of years ago called American Gods with an S. And they had all of these gods in the book. The Easter God. They had the other gods, the old ancient gods, the Greek gods. the specific different kind of gods. But then the American gods had different gods because our gods are idolatry. Our gods are built up gods. They're different. They don't look like the other gods. Our gods are like technology. Mm-hmm. Our gods are like social media. Our gods are like TV, car. Come on, y'all. Nature is some people's God because we say that it's from the earth and the earth is universal and the universe speaks to us. So we start burning stuff. And as if you don't understand that spirits all intertwine with each other and you fool around and invite the wrong spirit into your house, then you're going to have hell trying to get him out because you gave him the invitation. Y'all don't want to talk to me. Y'all don't want to talk to me. I wasn't going to go there tonight. And you're supposed to be talking about winning over everything. But you can't win over everything if you don't know what you've invited in your house. Some of us struggle because we're fighting stuff that we invited in thinking it was something else. You major on the minor. Okay, I'm going on. The three things a prophet does is speak on behalf of God. He's a covenant watchdog, and he calls out idolatry and injustice. If he sees an injustice, he will not stop. He's moved by things going on. Well, what do you have to say about that? So I tell people, certain preachers aren't prophets. Certain preachers, just because you preach don't make you a prophet. Your preaching can be prophetic, but that does not make you a prophet. Because if you are, certain injustices should at least move you to say something. You speaking about the kingdom, you speaking about all of this stuff, but if you're not understanding what God is doing and how God is shifting and changing, and understand that there's a direct correlation between your lacking to vote and the non-arrest in the Breonna Taylor case are not linked and entwined with each other because of the mindset in what you said that your vote don't count and it's a rigged system anyway. Well, it is rigged because you didn't participate. And what they told me was if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Yeah. I said it, and that's why I'm planning to go and do a voter rally right here on social media because we need to get out and vote. We need to get out and support our people because I am a prophet of God, and I'm telling you that if you don't get out there and vote, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. I'm getting back to my lesson. Because I'm still stuck on this prophet because this prophet was bold. He went before the king. He wasn't scared of him. See, that's time out for these scared, wimpy citizens in the kingdom. They scared to say something when they see stuff wrong and toe up and not right. And what they do is they get a situation in their mind and they don't understand how to fix the problems in our life because we keep focusing on people that are irrelevant because they got something to say. But when trouble arises, they're quiet, they're church mice, they're hiding. Because guess what, y'all? Because as long as it's darkness out, roaches roam free. It's not until you turn the lights on that you know that they know the exit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said it. It was not your presence that ran the roach off. Because if you step on him in the dark, he won't move. And that's the problem, is that not enough prophets are coming in the room to shine the light. The prophet walks into the room. Verses 1 through 10, the prophet tells him he's bold, he's up front, he's confident in it, and says, King, oh king, you won't get off that bed because what you depended on was not a move of God or word of God, our God, to change your situation. You had to get a quick fix. And because of your quick fix, you'll never get out that bed. Y'all watch this, y'all. The king gets upset, sends him away. The prophet on his way out tells all of the king's people, ain't no need you going to go find no fortune tellers. That king ain't getting up. The fortune tellers come back because guess what? Even the people close to those that are crazy and don't like you, watch this. If they don't see, this is what I knew that God had saved me. Because even your haters got to give you credit. Yeah. When they come in and I don't like him, but you know, he is changing. I don't like him. But he know that word. I don't know if I like him. But because you have to get in a place where even the haters know what he says got to be right, because he said it. They didn't go where the king told them because the prophet said to them on his way out. No, don't worry about it. Don't go talk to nobody. He not getting up. And when they came back to the king, they knew who told them. But watch this, y'all. The king asked them, what did he look like? Oof. And when the king asked what did he look like, they told him who it was and what he looked like. The king said, come here. One of my captains, one of the army men, one of the men that were known for killing. And he says to him, hey, go find Elijah. Go find him and kill him. Watch this, y'all. This is where we talk about our victory. Because God does not give you a victory until you've upset the enemy. God's not going to give you victory fighting the church. Not when he called it his church. You ain't got to like nothing the church doing. But I can promise you this, you won't win fighting it. He says, I'm coming back for my bride. I ain't fighting the church. I'm fighting the people in the church. Okay. If you want to split that hair that thin, then do it. But I'm praying for people I don't understand. I'm praying for those that need me to step up and do some stuff. Because guess what? And I'll confront you when you're wrong, because that's not of the kingdom. Woo! I'm talking better than y'all saying amen. Because when the kingdom is attacked, God is in action. Watch this. And not with those attacking the kingdom. You trying to figure out why God hadn't done what he said he was going to do. Maybe you might be on the wrong side of this. Yeah, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he had been found out to not have been telling the truth about a situation. He came in the room loud and crunk, and he was trying to tell everybody why he was right about what he was talking about. And I looked at him. Because you can't come in loud when you're not right. You can't come in crunk when you don't do what you're supposed to do. You cannot handle everything and everybody the way you want to handle them. But when you get ready to go against the enemy of God, he got your back. Whew. I just need some people that are praised God for a moment, that when the enemy came in like a flood, he lifted a standard. When the enemy came in and tried to take me out, it was 50 men and the captain, 51-1. Watch this, y'all. And when the captain showed up with 50 men, he says, the king says, the person that is in authority has spoken. Because see, real cowards, I'm sorry, I went back to Sunday's message. Real cowards that show up working for the enemy. Okay, pause, let me rewind and go back. First thing is, the king didn't come. The king didn't come because he was hurt on the bed. And the problem is that as long as he's on that bed, the word of the prophet has been marked true. So, but watch this, y'all. The king from the bed was able to seek an attack on the prophet. Why you keep talking about that? Because every now and then you have to learn that some people are coming against you. Watch this. They're not even the ones that had the issue. We don't know where the captain was or the 50 men. This was a conversation between two men. And the prophet went going on, minding his business. And because the king didn't like what the prophet said, the king included the captain and 50 men and sent them to the prophet. That's what we pick up in verse 9. The 50 men are there. The captain says to them, hey, verse 9, the captain went up to Elijah, who was sitting at the top, on top of a mountain, on top of a hill, and said to him, man of God, the king says, come down. Verse 10, Elijah answered the captain, if I am a man of God, watch this, even your haters know your title. Even your haters know who you represent. But watch this. If I am a man of God, may fire come down from heaven and consume you and your 50 men. Next sentence. Then the fire fell from heaven and consumed the captain and his men. God will give you victory over anything. God, see, I'm in a season that I'm not just praying for my enemies. I'm praying for the people that are indifferent. They not against me, but they ain't for me. I'm praying for them to pick a side. I'm praying for the people that'll just show up and try to play peacemakers on behalf of the enemy. Watch this, y'all. I'm praying for power in this season to give me victory over them that show up. Because it's a group of people that didn't show up. It's a group of people that were scared to show up. And I'm not worried about the people that's scared. I'm talking about the people that had the bold tenacity to just show up. Because when they show up, watch this, y'all. Let me give you some principles. First of all, where they found the prophet was sitting high. He was sitting high. But then, watch this, they couldn't come up to him. He had to come down to them. What's the first thing you see in that? First thing is that God always puts you in a place where you can be seen but not attacked. Watch this. The attack can be formed and in motion. But they couldn't come up to him. They had to get him to come down to them. Why are you talking about that, preacher? Because where you are, if you stay where you are, God's got you. You trying to figure out how you got protected from that attack because you know it should have took you out. You know that lie, that setup of the enemy, that bombardment that they hit you with should have knocked you off your equilibrium, but it didn't. And you don't exactly know why it didn't take you out. Come here, baby. Let me tell you why. Because you were sitting high on a hill. And when they came to taunt you, you refused to come down. Don't come down. Don't come down. Don't just put that in the comments for a second. Don't come down. Don't come down. I don't care. Don't come down to people level that have no intentions on being nice or friendly to you. Don't come down to people that want to attack you because you want to change their mind. Don't come down to people that have zero expectation for you to be better. Quit coming down. See, you spent all of your life trying to go up and then let people that are irrelevant bring you down. I tell people all the time, I wasn't going to talk like that. They poured it out of me. No, they ain't pull it out of you. You came down. You fought to get up. Now, why would you go back to that foolishness that had you where you were? Watch this, because you cannot act in one place how you act in the other place. Watch this, because if it had not been for your elevation, it would have led to your destruction. The prophet was on a hill. I'm not making it up. He was at the top of the hill. Verse 9, he says, man of God, the king says, come down. I'm coming down. I'm not doing that. Okay. So first of all, we realize that you got to be up. Second thing we realize about this, the second principle we pull from this, that Elijah, verse 10, he says, and Elijah answered the captain, if I am a man of God, if I am who you say I am, may fire come down. Talking noise. So you got to know when to talk noise. I remember when he used to do this. I remember when he used to do that. I don't care. If I am who you say I am. You say you're a preacher. I am. Come down. I ain't got to come down to prove that to you. But if I am who I am, you're going to get away from me. got to be able to command that which is not in your hands. Watch this, y'all. He says, if I be a man of God, may fire come down from heaven and consume you and your 50 men. Watch this, y'all. He told them what he was going to do, and then it happened. Called fire down from heaven. Killed him, all 50 of his men. Because the prophet spoke on behalf of God. Because why, y'all? Why would God kill that man and 50 of his men? Because you cannot desire an attack against God and God's people and think God is going to be asleep. I don't care what this barbershop bootleg theology has taught you. God is not asleep. God is not dead. God is not away from the wheel. He sees everything. He knows everything. He desires you to be great. He desires for your life to be awesome. He watch this, y'all. If he wanted to take you out, he would have took you out. If he wanted you gone, you would have been gone. But you are in a season that you're not even understanding because you're walking in prosperity, asking for no more lack. Because you've been confused that things was about money and time and all of this other stuff. But the truth of the matter is the richest thing you have as a believer is the fact that you cannot, the richest thing you have as a believer is your relationship to somebody that no matter what you're in, he can get you out of. He can get you out of everything that you want, everything that you got going on. You have to understand that God can shift and move you in every situation. God displays his power over anything. Watch this, y'all. I'm almost through. Not only do you have to be sitting high, not only do you have to command that which is not under your command, but you watch this, y'all. You have to be able to do it on repeat. That's verse 10. Verse 9 and 10, he does that. Can I read you the Bible? Can we have Bible story time for a second? Verse 11, it's not on my screen. At verse 11, it says, and at this the king sent Elijah another captain with his 50 men. And the captain said to him, man of God, this is what the king says, come down at once. Verse 12, if I am the man of God, Elijah replied, may fire come down from heaven and consume you and your 50 men. Then the fire of God fell from heaven and consumed him and his 50 men. So the king sent a third captain and with his 50 men. The third captain went up and fell on his knees before Elijah. O man of God, he begged, please have respect for my life and the lives of these 50 men, your servants. See, fire has fallen from heaven and consumed the first two captains and all their men, but now have respect for my life. The angel of the Lord said to Elijah, go down with him. Do not be afraid of him. So Elijah got up and went down with him to the king. 3 times. The king sent somebody. See, that's why you got to be able to do it on repeat. Don't get soft after the first time. Don't get excited after the first time. Don't give up after the first time. Because we feel like after the first time, I've done all I could. I've said all I could say. I've done all I can do. But that's not the truth. The truth of the matter is that you got to be willing to go and do it over and over and over again. Because every day is a day of Thanksgiving. Every day he breaks you up with brand new mercies. Because guess what the enemy does? This is how I realized it. The Verizon commercial, he's now with Sprint. But I remember him with Verizon. He used to walk down the street on the Verizon commercial. He used to show that they had the best network. That's what he was trying to show. He would have the earpiece up to his phone, phone up to his ear, and he'd be talking, and he'd ask this one question that God spoke a revelation into my ear, that he would say, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? He would be walking through the thing, and the guy would say, can you hear me now? And I feel like that's what God is doing on the sideline of your life. He's sending and allowing trouble to get close to you, to get your attention, to show you. Watch this, not just to get you corrected, but to get you confident. Some of your issues aren't just to correct you, but to get you confident. Some stuff he's not trying to get you right. You already doing right, but he needs you to be strong in your right. Don't be weak waiting on something else to happen. Get strong in your right. See, you was good for the first captain, but the second one kind of made you nervous. You didn't know if he would do it again, but you ought to shout on the fact that, hey, I know that he can do. He can, if he, oof, come here, Ty Tribbett, sing it with me. If he did it before, he can do it again. Watch this, and I'm shouting not on the fact that if he did it before, he can do it again, but watch this, I'm getting ready for him to do it a third time, and he's done it so well that when the guy gets to me for the third time, watch this, y'all, he don't even want to see it. He's scared of what God can do. He goes down and protects the prophet because that person, because that's how God converts you. See, I'm sick of swapping. God is planning conversion. Yeah. See, I don't need any transplants. God has got some conversion. God has some people that have a desire. Yeah, I used to say that I was saved, but Pastor, I really want to be saved. The song says it like this: do you want to be born again? I want to be born again. Say the word. That's all you got to do. Because if you're in this race with us, you're going to see God do some stuff that if it's not for your correction, it's for your confidence. By the time the third one got the word was out. You keep sending captains out, but I ain't seeing nobody come back. Why? Because God's winning shows his power over anything. God ain't losing to the devil on your behalf. As long as you know you're fighting the devil. Watch this, y'all. As long as you know who and what your opponent is, I promise you, if it's the enemy, you ain't got to worry about losing. God has a way for you to win. I'm through. I love y'all. Let's go real quick through this. I love y'all. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. Prayer time every day at noon through the month of September. We're praying every day at noon. Meet us there. I promise you, it'll be a blessing for you. It's blessing me. If you are looking for a church home, you can text us. You're looking for a church home, you can text us. We are able to get that. We'll reach out to you. You can text these words, Join Victory, to 833-489-7379. If you want to be a part of what God is doing here, I'm looking at people in the comments. I'm looking at people that are joined in with us. I promise you, this is good season, good soil. It's a good place, a good arm in the kingdom that we are doing the will of God. I promise you, your life will never, ever, ever be the same. Joining with us. Join on a Tuesday. Join on a Wednesday. You don't have to wait till Sunday to join with us. I promise you can join on a Thursday afternoon. And we'll be right there with you. We will walk you through it because the kingdom is always open. The church used to say it like this: the doors of the church are open. The question is, I don't want them to close. So how do I do that? I make it available to you 24/7, every day, all day. Even in the middle of a hurricane, you can join with us. Get covering, get protection, get prayer. Thank you again. Last but not least, offering time. What we ask that we do is we ask everyone to do a seed of $20 every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night. We don't. If you are part of Victory Community Church and you want to tithe, I promise you, this is good ground to tithe into. But if you're not, and I don't have a church home, I want to tithe here until I get one. Give your tithe. But you should be a member of a church. You should be part of what God is doing. Please. If you have $20, want to sow it tonight, give in these two ways. You can text to give and Cash App. They're on your screen right there. Please do that. Last two things I got for you. The first one, I have a flyer I want you to see, is this tomorrow night at 7 p.m. is our victory prayer. It's Pastor Terry Hill will be with us, at 7 o'clock on Zoom. I promise y'all. Pastor Hill is a beast with it. You don't want to miss this. This is going to be phenomenal time in prayer on this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. I promise you, she's going to bless your heart and soul. 7 p.m. Pastor Hill will be with us. But lastly, let me announce it on a Tuesday night so y'all can get ready for it. And let me go old. Let me clear my throat. Let me go old TD Jakes for you. Get ready. We're going back into warfare, y'all. God gave me the release. We're going back into spiritual warfare on this on the first Sunday in October. We're going to go on the spiritual warfare series, and we're going to ride it out through the end of the year. We'll ride spiritual warfare out through the end of the year. Sister Delinda, thank you. We enjoyed having you with us. Spiritual warfare, October, November, December. Y'all, God gave me a whole list of stuff to do for our spiritual warfare series. We're talking about soul ties. We're talking about spirits, transfer spirits. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, this is what my prayer is. This is what my prayer through the end of this month is going to be. That you don't get distracted during this series. Because guess what? If chains are going to be broken, the enemy is going to get nervous. And he's going to try to distract you, detour you, and get you busy. Don't get busy in these 3 months. I promise you, these 3 months of preaching and teaching will change your life. They have changed mine. I promise you. Come and experience victory every Sunday at 10 o'clock. I love y'all. Remember, last but not least, remember, let's get ready to give. Let's do something supernatural tonight. We have 19 people on. If everybody gave tonight, we would have a supernatural offer. Let's do that. We lost some people. People logged off, but we can't control that. Let everybody remember to do just that tonight. Give you a text. Give you a text. You can give via Cash App. You can give through our app. You can give via PayPal, Givelify, online, however you decide to do it. Let's do $20 seed, everyone. Love you all. See you tomorrow at 12 and then again at 7 p.m. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night.